Yo, this is a motherfucker who needs no introduction. You are watching Breaking Records Radio.
You are now tuned in to Breaking Records Radio. You describe in interviews that the first recording with Fame, and that's again for that How About Some Hardcore, that you couldn't even finish the song that you were rapping so hard. And if it's the same version of How About Some Hardcore that actually came out, then you kind of had the style that we know today as kind of that M.O.P style. Can you speak for a second on just how that ended up coming to be? Because you guys delivery and stylistically kind of fit and mesh together, but if you guys had never stepped in a booth together, then that's kind of odd that you guys would sound so similar and work so well together. And at that period of time as well, that's a pretty unique style. It's not like a lot of people were really kind of that aggressive on the mic. Can you speak about how you developed that?
Well, you know what? Just knowing each other is the reason why it worked out so well. Like, we actually know each other before the music. So that's why it worked out so well. But that style was actually developed that day. There was nothing leading up to it. We didn't change anything after. It was developed that day when I caught the sore throat from rapping so hard. And we just continued to do it like that because it sounds so amazing to us. And remember, at that time, it wasn't cool to sound like someone else. So that's the pocket that we found that separated us from everybody else, all the people that we know and loved and listened to in music at the time. So yeah, that style was developed that very day in a basement in Brooklyn at DR Period's home studio, which was actually basically killing some of the home studios right now. Because DR is one of those dudes that always been into music even before we got to music. So he had all the right equipment, the right microphone, the booth was dope, the whole layout was dope. And, you know, we went down there and we put it on, man. And we put it on for the hip hop community, and we put it on for our community. And that particular sound, that M.O.P sound, was developed that day.
Gotcha. I want to talk about that video, the Hype Williams video, but the first thing that whenever you see the video that you see is, again, the hill that's real in that logo. Mm-hmm. Clearly, that song is not on the compilation. I am curious what the kind of link between the compilation and, I guess, your start as M.O.P were, or was, and why the logo was featured in the Hype Williams video.
Well, because it's where we're from. The compilation represented where we were from, even though there was people on there from other places. What was his dude's name? It was from the Bronx. A group that Silver D had that was a part of it. And Big Ken, who was not from the actual hill, but she was from down the hill, in another area. So the compilation was basically an introduction to the hill. It was for Fame to introduce the hill. And then when we did How About Some Hardcore, which was the very first M.O.P song, it was only right to, feature the logo in there because this is our neighborhood and this is what we're fighting for and this is what we're fighting to uplift this neighborhood, this community right here. So you see all the dudes around us, it's all cats that we grew up with. You know how, you got the kids from this block, the kids from this block, kids from, 3 blocks over. Even though we weren't the best of friends, but we were still representing our neighborhood in that video together. That's what the video is.
Gotcha. So yeah, it makes sense in that context anyways. It's, again, where you're from.